If you need food assistance, come visit us. We can help.
So food banks serve a larger geographical area and act as a centralized point where food and resources are collected and then distributed to food pantries from there.
And I picked up a couple of extra ingredients that you might commonly find at a food pantry. So let's head over to the kitchen and we'll make a recipe together.
Hi, my name is Sarah Hager. I'm the Executive Director here at the Holly Springs Food Cupboard. We are a food pantry located in Holly Springs, and we just celebrated our 15th anniversary. We serve clients in 3 different ways. Most of our clients come Thursday afternoons through our drive-through distributions from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. A small number of clients will receive food on Thursdays by delivery. Those are limited to clients within a certain geographic area and that have health or transportation problems that prevent them from getting to the cupboard. Our third way of distribution is by shopping appointments on Monday afternoons, where clients come inside to select their food. The requirements to receive food are fairly simple. We require a photo ID and something that shows your current address if it is not current on your ID. Let's go inside and meet Kim, our cupboard manager.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the manager here at the Holly Springs Food Cupboard. Let me walk you through what happens when our families come in. The first thing is they will be seated and be greeted by one of our client intake specialists, and they will be asked to show their photo ID, and just to verify the information is correct, or if they're a new client, they will take one of these forms and fill it out. And this is just very basic information. Ask for your address, the number of people in your family. This is only for our internal use. And if you're a non-English speaking family, we have these forms in Spanish, but we also will be more than happy to use Google Translate and do whatever we can do to assist you in getting the food that you need. Once you come in, if you are a small family, you will get a green tag. If you are a larger family, you will get a yellow tag. And these correspond to the number of items that you can get from each shelf. So if you're a yellow tag, you can get 1 box of cereal or 3 mac and cheeses, and it follows through the rest. So you can choose whatever kind of tomato product you want, what type of meat. Over here, the type of vegetables, the peanut butter, fruits, and we always try to keep a good supply of spices. And then over here, you will be able to choose a personal hygiene item. These items, again, also vary because these are always donated. We never purchase any of these items. Baby food, we don't have a limit on. We almost always have baby food and formula. And then we also offer personal feminine hygiene products. If you happen to have any specific dietary requirement, we offer low sodium foods, low sugar, and then also our gluten-free bins. Then the families will come into the front here where they'll be offered a choice of 2% or whole milk and a dozen eggs. They will also be able to choose from our miscellaneous shelf here. So these are items that don't fit into our categories, things like mustards, mayonnaise, condiments, and our cake mixes. And they'll also be able to choose one item from the bottom shelf, which is things like laundry detergent or dish detergent, medicines, that type of item. After this, they'll be able to walk out here. They'll be given a bag, and they can choose whatever fresh produce that they would like for their families. Over here, we have our breads, desserts, and deli. The breads, most of the items that are on this table are given to us through a food recovery program from grocery stores. These are items that you might see that have a special today sign on them. They are handed to us, and then we pass them out to our families. They're perfectly safe to eat. You just may want to consume them within a day or two of leaving here. We also offer some produce items that fall into that same category. But we have a strong produce program here where we use funds donated from our community to purchase fresh produce. So we always have a wide variety of freshly purchased produce. We also offer meats. We always have ground beef and chicken. Those two items are things that we purchase from our funds. Then we also will have recovery meat. This is meat from the grocery stores that is labeled with a manager special. It is frozen at the grocery store and brought to us frozen. Again, it's perfectly safe food to eat. These items will be bagged and then taken to your car.
If you come on a Thursday afternoon instead of a Monday shopping appointment, you would drive up here in your car. Our client intake volunteer will check your information, and then other volunteers will be set up back here with lots of food, and they will load your trunk for you. We're able to support you once every 4 weeks.
We are entirely run by volunteers, and we are able to provide this food through donations, either financially or through our food drives. If you need food assistance, come visit us. We can help.
You can find more information at our website, www.hsfoodcupboard.org.
Meal prep can be kind of tricky when you're not sure what kind of products you're going to be receiving from the store or a food pantry. So today we're going to be making a really flexible recipe, which is a minestrone soup. Soup is a really great way to meal prep when you're unsure what you'll receive, because you can add so many things to it and you can substitute proteins, the veggies, the seasonings and spices to really make it your own and flexible to whatever you have. So typically when you go to a food pantry, you're going to see a lot of dry goods, lots of shelf-stable products like canned veggies, boxed broth, maybe some canned beans or dry legumes. But occasionally you can get fresh produce. Typically when you see produce at a food pantry, it's going to be recently recovered from a grocery store and it might be really ripe. So be sure to have a bit of a plan for when you get it, because you'll usually need to process it pretty quickly so as not to waste that. So first step, I'm gonna chop up all of our produce and we'll get it into the soup. I'll meet you all at the stove. Often what you'll find at a food pantry is staple items like onion, carrots, celery, and that's gonna be perfect as a base flavor. But if you were using canned, a really good option would be something like the mixed veggies, because there's so many different flavors in there already. One thing you want to be mindful of when you're looking at dry goods and these shelf-stable products is the sodium content. Sometimes you don't always have control over what's available and you can't pick something that's lower sodium if that's a priority for you. So you can sort of mix and match with what you find. So today we do need a vegetable broth and I was able to find one, but it is pretty high in sodium. And because I know that, I'm gonna take a couple of steps to make the overall sodium a little bit lower, so I have a little more control of that in my soup. So what I will do to kind of counteract that is I will rinse my can of beans. These are also not low sodium, but if I rinse them off, that water is gonna help take some of that sodium out. So again, I have a little bit more control over what I'm putting into my soup. You can also compare different canned or boxed items, like I have 2 canned tomatoes here, and one is a flavored one and one is plain. The flavored one has a decent amount of sodium in it, so because I know I don't have a low sodium broth, I'll probably use the plain one today, just because I can control the sodium bit. What we are going to use for protein today are canned beans. Our recipe calls for cannellini beans. We found northern today, so we're going to go ahead and use those. You could sub it out for whatever bean you want. Also, if you wanted a little extra protein, you could add 2 cans of beans to this. That would be no problem. Another thing you can do is if you know all of your ingredients are going to have a lot of sodium added, you can just skip adding the salt to the recipe yourself. And so use other flavors or just the sodium that's already built into your shelf-stable items. To help round out our My Plate, I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of our soup. Gives us a little bit of dairy and a little bit of flavor. If you have any leftover soup, you could add it to smaller containers to freeze for later. And remember, adding extra produce from a community garden or your own garden to a soup or another recipe like this is a great idea. We talked about a lot of resources today. For the full list of what we've discussed, check out our blog post, and if there's a resource that we missed, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Please like and follow, and remember to stay po-fitted.